Bob Safian, the editor-in-chief of Fast Company and the curator, in quotations, of Innovation Uncensored, Fast Company's first event in San Francisco. Bob, welcome to TechCrunch TV.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, Bob, it's sunny in San Francisco. It's always, of course, sunny in San Francisco. Why are you guys treading on our patch?
Well, I mean, we're here in part to try to inspire and encourage the business community here and the startup community here to continue to do the things that San Francisco is so well known for, but also to grow that spirit and to engage a different kind of discussion that sometimes happens. There's a lot of discussion in Silicon Valley now about data. Data is very important, but we think there's also a lot of art in being successful as a business person, a lot of intuition, and a lot of people skills, and all of those, the combination of all those things are the kinds of things that we're trying to bring up and hope to engage people with this event.
At the event, Reid Hoffman was your first keynote speaker. Do you buy Reid's vision that we're now in this age of Web 3.0, this age of ubiquitous data, personal data?
I don't necessarily refer to it exactly that way, but I do think we're in a new age where business is moving faster than it ever was, where the approach to careers and to the way businesses run is different, and that we all have to be more agile, more fluid, more flexible about the way we conceive of our jobs and the way we conceive of our businesses. It puts a lot of pressure on everyone to keep learning and doing things in a different way. I think Reid is very supportive of that and recognizes that and is trying to encourage that also.
You've put together a spectacularly interesting group of speakers.
Oh, thank you.
What were you looking for in terms of the kind of speakers to put on this, your first event in San Francisco about innovation?
Well, whether you're putting together, for me, whether you're putting together a magazine or what we do on our digital sites or in an event like this, you're building a menu. You know, you want to have lots of different interesting dishes that different people can tap into, and it's the combination of those things that I think makes it interesting. So in this area, you're going to have a lot of people who are expert in technology, like Reid is, but you also want to bring in, and we tried to bring in people who are involved in retail areas, in mobile, in design, in airlines, a broad range. I thought, David Cush, the CEO of Virgin Americas, was one of the more intriguing speakers, talking about
Absolutely.
the different innovations that they're doing in Virgin America that will change the flying experience for a lot of people. And thinking about doing things in a different way, whether you're in a small company or in a big company, or as we like to say, even if you're not in a fast company, you're in a slow company, how do you make yourself the fast part of a slow company? That's part of what we're trying to encourage.
Bob, there are a lot of events about innovation and technology. TechCrunch does its own Disrupt events, there are Wired events,
Yes.
Web 2.0 events. Why is Fast Company involved in putting on a new event in San Francisco, and what can you offer that's different from the others?
Well, part of the reason is we want to engage our customers and consumers who are here in San Francisco and have been asking us to be more present and to have events here, and so we want to respond to that. But I think it's the mix of people. It's bringing together people not just from here, but from all around the country to interact and inspire, really, looking at the world a different way. It's very hard to embrace change and to try to keep that motivation going forward. And for me, I want to have the people who come to my event be happy and satisfied and excited. And if they're also happy and excited by going to a TechCrunch event, that's great too. You know, it's not a zero-sum game. We're all, I think, in the same business, which is trying to encourage progress and use business as a vehicle for progress and improving our world.
You are, as a magazine, a great vehicle, an advertisement for innovation. Where are you most excited? What sectors of the economy are you most excited with innovation?
What I get excited about are people and ideas that change things. And when we first put Mark Zuckerberg on our cover in 2007, and Facebook had then, I think, 10 million users, and now it's 800 million and growing. The potential for what new ideas and new businesses can do is not easy to predict and not worth predicting in a lot of ways. You want to keep following and looking at the things that are catching on, that are getting people's attention, and that are pointing towards, towards a world of the future. And whether that change comes in technology or technology enabling other things, enabling healthcare, enabling education, enabling government to run differently, these are all the things that we hope for, that the world of tomorrow can be better than the world of today.
Politics is, of course, an area which America is currently really struggling with in terms of innovation. Should more politicians read Fast Company?
I hope they all should read it, for sure. I think it's always been hard for Washington politicians to be appropriately plugged into the business world in general and the innovation economy in particular. And I hope that more of them do take notice. Certainly the growth of social media makes it a lot harder for the political world to ignore that channel, but we hope so. We hope so.
What is it about conservative companies or conservative individuals that stops them innovating, and what do they have to do to innovate apart from, of course, subscribing to Fast Company?
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with companies that and people that have trouble innovating. I think it's really hard to do. I think as humans we are naturally conservative. We try to protect what we have. We want stability, we want safety, but sometimes the things that look like safety and stability are not actually making us safer, they're making us more vulnerable. And that's really one of the things that we try to encourage in our readers and in our community overall, is to recognize that change is coming. Trying to hide from it isn't going to actually help you. You want to embrace it and ride it, however hard that is.
Is there any contradiction between Fast Company being this spokes publication for innovation and yet remaining at its core a print magazine?
Well, certainly digital is a big part of what we do, and we reach more people each month digitally now than we do in print. But there is something, particularly in a world where there is such an explosion of content as there is right now, that having a magazine that sort of tries to curate that, to use the word you use for this conference, to curate that, whether in a conference or in a print publication, I think that ends up being valuable. It's hard to parse through, but we don't always assume that our content will reach people in print. We're agnostic. If you reach our content in print, that's great. If you reach it in person at an event like this, that's great. If you read us on the web or on some other digital platform, that's great too.
But print does have a future in your mind?
Well, I hope so, and it's certainly being successful for us right now and enabling us to continue to generate this content and to reach readers and business people. And if that changes, then we'll pivot like any other business should.
Speaking of pivoting, Bob, finally, what is the future then of Fast Company's innovation conferences?
Well, I think we'll continue to do more of them. It seems like the crowd here in San Francisco has been excited by it, and so we've had a lot of enthusiasm about coming back and doing more. So we'll keep you posted on the next
And for people who either want to speak or participate or come, how is the best way to find out about the Fast Company innovation conferences?
Well, you can go to innovationuncensored.com and find out about what our next plans are, and you can always send ideas to ideas at Fast Company, whether that's for stories or for conferences or for speakers or otherwise. It's the easiest way to reach us.
Well, Bob Safian, Editor-in-Chief of Fast Company, congratulations for putting on an extremely promising first act in San Francisco, and I hope that will lead to many other conferences. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for appearing on TechCrunch TV.